The most glaring problems on the Browns so far has been their secondary between injuries and just poor performance. One of the biggest issues on the secondary has been a free safety with Sendejo. Take a look at some of these numbers. He's allowed 77% of passes thrown his way to go for completions, 308 yards allowed, 3 touchdowns allowed, and he's already missed 7 tackles. So CBSSports.com has one trade proposal that the Browns can look at. They suggest that the Browns trade their 2021 fourth-round pick to the Vikings for safety Anthony Harris. They say sooner rather than later, the Vikings are going to have to confront the reality that Mike Zimmer cannot save their defense. Harris, at 29, was already in question as a long-term piece of a remade secondary, reportedly popping up in trade talks after Minnesota used its franchise tag on him this year. Kevin Stefanski, meanwhile, knows him well from their time together, and more importantly, knows his own defense needs reinforcements, especially at a safety spot occupied by a rotation of replaceable veterans. So you take a look at what Anthony Harris has done. He's 29 years old in his 6th NFL season. This year, he's got 39 tackles, 1 tackle for loss, and 2 passes defended. He led the NFL with 6 interceptions last year. Now, the Vikings have not been performing well this year. They've only got like 1 win. And honestly, the Browns actually were looking at Anthony Harris earlier this year in March as a trade option. So what do you guys think? Should the Browns possibly explore trading for Anthony Harris to help improve their secondary?
Well, you got to look at everybody who's out there. Mike, I wouldn't zero in on a 3rd or 4th round pick. Would you, D-Man?
Well, yeah, I mean, the Browns have to figure out what is the right price for a Harris-type player. Listen, if Kevin Stefanski likes him and wants him in here, then that's good enough for me. Obviously, as Brian said, Stefanski knows him. I don't mean to dump on Sendejo, but he seems like an easy target. All the completions that have come his way are not necessarily his fault. But we get it. He has not played particularly well on balance this year. So you're always looking for an upgrade in that situation. And if I'm any team, I try to poach from the Vikings because the Vikings are going south. They're already south. They look terrible.
Yeah, they do at this point. And they certainly know the personnel that they have over there. It's a two-way street, though, as far as trading him. And they have to make a decision. They got to have the right quarterback. If they're back after 4 years, which would be next year, and they still haven't anointed Baker Mayfield as your starting quarterback, that's bigger problems than you had 3-4 years ago.
Yeah, that's true. Very true, Les.